What's going on, people? Holy shit! That was nerve-wracking. That was close. Thank goodness. The Astros are still in first place in the American League West on a day where the Texas Rangers beat the shit out of the Boston Red Sox, and on a day where it looks like the Seattle Mariners are about to win with a 2-1 win over the best team in the American League, the Baltimore Orioles. We're going to wait to get some people in here. You can, of course, join this on twitch.tv/GallantSays or youtube.com/Paul Gallant. Right now, I'm changing the old thumbnail on this live stream and making sure that we monetize this bad boy. Your boy needs money. All the money. That's why we do this. That's why we work so hard. And of course, we also just want to react to big moments the remainder of this Astros season as they happen. Honestly, I feel like we'll do the same thing for the Seattle Mariners when the Astros play them next week. Maybe we'll do it in that series against the Diamondbacks. But, man, a massive victory that reminds you of a couple of things. Most importantly, that other teams can fuck up. But before we get into all that, hello and welcome aboard another episode of the Gallant Says podcast. It is Wednesday, September 20th, 2023, 4:45 Central Time, live at youtube.com/Paul Gallant and twitch.tv/GallantSays. Sunday through Thursday night. We're doing it in the early evening today. It's also available after the fact wherever you get your podcasts: Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. It took the Astros a very long time to get their first runs of the game, but thanks to a neat little rally in the 8th inning, getting one run, thanks to another rally in the 9th inning, done as quickly as possible, which was definitely needed, they take down the Baltimore Orioles 2-1. The Orioles lost this game. I have no idea what their fascination is, Baltimore, with this reliever, Funijami, and his 7.31 ERA. But they keep using him against the Astros, and it has yet to help them out at all. And it's a shame because Kyle Bradish, today's starter for Baltimore, and I say a shame from Baltimore's perspective, he owns the Astros. Could he have gone another inning? I don't know. But it's not like he threw that many pitches today. 100 pitches, 2 walks, 2 hits, 9 strikeouts. He's done really good against the Astros on this season. You go back and you take a look at his game log, which I'm looking at right now, and I guess this is a 2022 thing for Bradish, but here we go. Let's take a look at some of the games that he's pitched against Houston. Last time he pitched against Houston was September 22nd of 2022. 8 2/3 innings pitched. He allowed 2 hits, 10 strikeouts, no walks. August 26th of 2022, 8 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, 2 hits, 2 walks. He went 8 innings against the Astros those 2 games, and maybe because the Orioles knew that they're going to have to keep him rested for the playoffs, they pulled him. But they should not have brought in Shintaro Funijami, who makes Rafael Montero look trustworthy. Let's just take a look at his game logs against the Houston Astros. So, August 9th, 2/3 of an inning, 3 earned runs, 3 walks. Monday, 1/3 of an inning, 3 earned runs, 3 hits. And then you got today, A third of an inning, 2 walks, 1 earned run. I don't know why the Orioles put Fujinami in the game, but I am very thankful that they did. On top of that, the Orioles fucked up in the 9th inning too. So, because of questionable Dusty Baker decisions that even I will admit, Yordan Alvarez got the day off. It started there. Where's the urgency? Why isn't he playing? Why isn't Michael Brantley playing as well? He's generally sore. But let's go back to before the game, courtesy of the Sports Talk 790 Twitter page. Here is Dusty Baker wearing an incredible Hawaiian shirt and explaining why Yordan wasn't playing. Let me make sure that I got this thing actually going. Guess what? I don't know if I'm going to be able to play this audio. Let's try it one more time. Technical difficulties.
Excited to, give him the day off, and then he'll be good through the season. And much like I did with Tucker. And sometimes you got to maybe sacrifice one game for the next 9. Just in my experience, I've seen that to be very beneficial, not only physically, but mentally too. At this time of the year, when you're not doing what you feel you should be doing, it gets to be as much mental as physical. So hopefully I only have to use him to pinch hit, or hopefully we can have a day like we had with Tuck and I don't have to use him at all. So.
Well, they did have to use him, and let's go back to the part that drove everybody crazy. Again, Dusty Baker before today's game.
Very beneficial, not only physically, but mentally too. At this time of the year, when you're not doing what you feel you should be doing, it gets to be as much mental as physical. So hopefully I only have to use him to pinch hit, or hopefully.
All right, I need a producer for this show. I'm going to pause and go back a little bit further. The thing that everybody's freaking out about is Dusty Baker, who we're all hoping is going to be a little bit more urgent, saying sometimes you have to sacrifice the short term for the long term. Here is Dusty Baker one more time. I apologize for all the technical bullshit.
Maybe sacrifice one game for the next 9.
There you go. Sacrifice one game for the next 9. This was not a game that you wanted to sacrifice. Not this one. Because you would not be in first place anymore. But somehow, some way, it all worked out for the Astros, at least from the perspective of they did not need more offense from Yordan Alvarez tonight. And in Dusty's defense, if you take a look at Yordan to open up this series, he was 0 for 8. 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch, 2 strikeouts along the way. So, he doesn't start. He pinch hits. But this goes back to another Dusty Baker created issue that the Orioles fucked up and didn't take advantage of. They pinch hit Yordan. They pinch ran for Yordan, which meant that they lost the designated hitter. So the pitcher spot was due 4th in the 9th. And I'm not sure who actually came into the on-deck circle for after Mauricio Dubon. But the Orioles should have just walked Mauricio Dubon. They didn't. And since they didn't walk Mauricio Dubon, Dubon hits the ball into the outfield, and the next thing you know, the Houston Astros win. So there you go. Let's read a couple of comments. Cooper Media says, Dusty didn't put Montero in down 1 in the 6th. Finally, a little urgency. Yeah, they should just not put in Montero ever. And I hope that in the playoffs, they'll go away from him. I get that Dusty Baker maybe trusts Montero a little bit more right now, but fuck, I just never have any trust in one Rafael Montero. Another comment. This is from Speedy Wolfbear. Finally, they win at home in a good while, the Astros. Yeah, thank God. I mean, on my radio show today, we were exploring alternative options because the home field advantage clearly isn't there. You got fans that are wearing other teams' gear, perhaps in some sort of operations, wearing a Royals hat, wearing a Cubs gear, a Cubs shirt, reaching over the railing, interfering with balls. I think there was actually a moment today or last night where another fan interfered with a ball they reached over. Probably shouldn't have. Then on top of that, I know that Astros fans don't want to hear this, but sometimes you show up a little bit late to the ballpark. I get it. Parking in downtown Houston, driving to downtown Houston from the burbs is an absolute pain in the ass. I get it. And sometimes you're not as loud as you need to be when you need to be. I felt like there were a couple of moments in the playoffs last year where it was rather quiet, not a lot of confidence, not the kind of support that, no offense, that the Seattle Mariners seem to give their team, despite them being an absolute joke of a franchise for their entire history. Credit to the fans. They are loyal. They are diehards. And, I mean, fuck, you're doing a wave in the middle of a clutch at-bat in this Astros-Orioles series. So, like, I was suggesting maybe the Astros play the games at the Astrodome. Maybe they play them at Constellation Field or something like that. YouTube.com/Paul Gallant. Let Me Pipe says Dubon's been a stud all year. He's had a good season. So in a game where they pinch ran Mauricio Dubon technically for Yordan Alvarez, in a game where Jake Myers actually got the start, Dusty actually made some correct moves here. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. But especially when it comes to Martin Maldonado. But Maldonado had a nice little sacrifice, huh? Mauricio Dubon comes in for Jake Myers, who had a hit. He gets a hit, huh? Dusty Baker, do you trust him? We should shift, though, to the best part about today. Not the offense, that's for fucking sure. It's the pitching. Holy shit, Cristian Javier, you might have earned a starter spot in the postseason with that performance. And he only went 5 innings, 91 pitches, but 11 strikeouts, 2 walks, 3 hits against that lineup that was kicking your ass the last 2 nights. Bravo fucking oh. It's about goddamn time that we've seen Cristian Javier pitch the way that we know he's capable of. Fuck. Why did it take so long? Honestly, I couldn't tell you. All I know is I hope that this happens again. I think it can happen again. They need him to pitch like this if they go into a World Series. If they win a World Series. He has to do that. He has to do that multiple times. He's capable of that. That's why they paid him this money. This was his best start all year by a wide margin. So he comes in. Woo! Amazing. Hector Neris comes in afterwards. Maybe not the cleanest inning from him. He did allow 2 hits, but he got out of that jam. He's probably your second most trustworthy arm in the bullpen. Kendall Graveman came in. But Brian Abreu's okay. He throws an inning in a third. Ryan Presley gives you a clean sheet in the 9th and gets the win. Performances like this from the Astros pitching staff are possible. They need to happen more. Duh. Baseball, Paul. He knows baseball so much. Like, I don't know generally a lot about baseball. I'll fucking admit it. Some people on the YouTube. I know you guys don't. Some person said today, oh, Paul, you're just a clickbait person. You're not a journalist. No, I'm a fucking entertainer. A great one at that. A journalist. Fuck off. No, that's not what we do here. What we do here is we react generally in very extreme fashion to whatever goes down. Anyway, more comments that we have here. YouTube.com/Paul Gallant, Twitch.tv/Gallant says, did Paul just swear? Asks King of all Twitches. Yes, it is allowed. I'm not saying earmuffs, Virginia Buttonweed. Largo's in here. So we have our toxic Twitch from the ESPN 97.5 side of things saying stuff. On the YouTube side, youtube.com/Paul Gallant, Dusty Baker for Manager of the Year. In all seriousness, thanks for the humor in your analysis. Way more humor than analysis. I am willing to admit that. We're trying to have fun here, right? And it has been a rather frustrating year for the Houston Astros, but they still remain a half game up in the American League West. I thought for a moment that the Red Sox might beat Texas. I think that Boston had an early 3-0 lead, but that did not happen. Meanwhile, in the middle of the 8th inning, as we're recording this thing, Seattle has a 6-3 lead on Oakland. They needed to win this. They needed a shot of confidence. They get the day off. They play Kansas City for 3. Then they play Seattle. And then we see what happens. It's not as easy a final stretch to the season just based off of what the Astros have been doing recently, which is to say not winning at home. But coming up next on Friday, JP France better get his shit together against the Royals. Saturday, Royals, it's Framber. Sunday, Royals, it's Verlander. Setting up a series in Seattle and 6 road games to end the year where you've got Hunter Brown, hopefully another performance like this out of Cristian Javier, and then, again, JP France, which sets up the final 3 games of the year against an Arizona team that is surprisingly decent, at least just compared to years past. So the National League's kind of bullshit. That's my lazy analysis of the National League. Valdez, Verlander, Brown to wrap up the year. I think that Cristian Javier just knocked Hunter Brown out of that 3-man rotation for the playoffs. And good, because I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. I don't think anyone really does. What other comments that we have? Nate Dogg, 116911 on youtube.com/Paul Gallant says, Pena batting 8th, no good. Pena batting 2nd is the man. Well, if he's going to have clutch hits like he did today to tie the game in the 8th inning, yeah. Or if he's going to draw clutch catcher interferences. That's what we want. What else do we have here? youtube.com/Paul Gallant. Sports Hulk says we're back. Yes, for one day and hopefully until Friday. Virginia Bunweed says, Odds Paul is on the show. Hoarders when he's 70. Fuck you. I hate it when you assholes talk shit about my setup. This setup's fucking great. It's great. Y'all some fucking haters. Yeah, I said it. I had somebody yesterday, one of my friends was like, oh, nice popcorn seal. Like, fuck you. Fuck you, Fletcher. God. People want me to bring the white pants out. No, I packed them for a trip I'm going on this weekend. Not pulling them out. Remind me at another time. We'll do that. They look very good, though. Virginia Bunweed on twitch.tv/Gallant says is doing what he typically does. Or she. I don't know. I don't know what your sex is. But there's no hole in my shirt. There's no hole in my shirt. This is what the Twitch does during my radio show on ESPN 97.5, which you can catch weekdays 10 to noon. So if we're handing out stars of the game a la hockey, Cristian Javier is number 1. That was an awesome performance. And you got a little nervous in the first inning where he gave up a couple of hits, but he struck out the side. And I mean, what? He had seven strikeouts through 3 innings. He was mowing people down. The real question is, can we get him to 6 innings so you can limit the bullpen exposure? Like, you don't want to have to use Neris, Graveman, Abreu, and Presley, your 4 probably most trusted arms, every single game you pitch. A thought. King of all Twitches says, white pants after Labor Day, as if that's like a faux pas. You guys aren't fucking hot like me. You're not. You're not hot. I can do this. These people shaming my fashion because Largo saw me on a date with somebody else once in the wild. Listen, people, I look damn good in those white pants. I'm wearing them in Vegas this weekend. I'm going to Vegas? Yes. Virginia Bunweeds on twitch.tv/Gallant says, Paul is still mad because I called him out for talking baths and playing Periscope. No, I love playing Periscope in the bath. It's great. You know, you get a little I know what you're talking about, and I'm trying to make this family friendly. You know, you get a little telescope, you go underwater, you look out of the water. Okay. It seems like that's about it from a comment perspective. I'll be honest, it's leg day, and I'm going to a pool party in Vegas this weekend, so I'm about to hit the gym to make my ass look good and my legs look good. But I appreciate y'all for stopping by. You should subscribe, twitch.tv/Gallant Says or youtube.com/Paul Gallant. We'll talk more about this victory on my radio show tomorrow. But thank the Lord above, the Astros are still in first place in the American League West after a 2-1 win over the Baltimore Orioles. If you're more of a listener, you can listen to this. It's going to sound like a lot messier given all the interaction in audio form. But this is also available wherever you get your podcasts: Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. And if you ever have a question, gallantsays@gmail.com, or follow me on my way too many Instagram accounts, TikTok account, Twitter as well. So long. Farewell. Have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday. We'll be back at it at some point tomorrow, probably after Thursday night football.